everything that I was and who I am. And I think that this is why I call this my whole new era, you would say, is I am Kim Butler, because this is me being the real me. I feel like because I'm from North Philly and because I was in Calabasas, it's like this person in between that had to go in between both. And I had to survive in both places. And those are, as you know, two drastically different places. Yeah. It's almost like going to school with Kim Kardashian and you going to school with Meek Mill at the same time. So it's like your mama Kim Kardashian, but your daddy Meek Mill. It's like you just listen. That's just the life that I live. So for me, it was like I had to suppress the ratchetness when I kind of went around them. But the ratchetness that I did bring out was entertaining. Then over them, I had, in North Philly, I had to be the bougie bitch, but I still had to suppress the bouginess that was excelling me to the top. So it was like, there was always this battle in between both. But I want to talk about a time where I was suicidal, extremely. And at this time, I remember I had wrote a suicide note because I remember the producers. Yeah,
I never heard it.
Never.
You never told me this.
And I never told nobody this.
Oh my gosh.
But because you don't feel strong in that moment.
Right, you don't.
And I remember the producers came to me and they said, this was right before I had got on the show. Now, mind you, it was a whole battle before that. Now, I ain't even getting into. But I remember I was in this hotel that was paid for by the government because I didn't have any money. I was on government assistance and they paid for a hotel for me to stay in. And I was lying to producers saying I lived in Malibu.
You know what?
And mind you, I had never been to the West Side.
Really?
At that point. No, I ain't never been to the West Side. I didn't even know there was. I just knew there was Malibu. And I remember them talking about it on the show a couple times. So I was just telling them I lived in Malibu. And they knew that wasn't the case. And they were like, you're going to have to be real about what's going on. Because they found my blog. And that was like popular at the time. And they were like, you don't look like this. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. This not the person.
No, that's sitting in front of us. So I had to explain that. And they were like, you're going to have to tell us the truth. And I was like, okay. And the lady was almost like, we about to not work with you because this is just too much. And I remember that night to this Kanye West song. It was called, and at the time he had just released the Life of Pablo album. And it was a song on there called FML or something like that.
I think I do remember that.
And I remember I had that song on repeat. And I wrote the suicide note. And I remember saying to myself, if I don't get this opportunity, I'm not going to be here. And it wasn't because of a shallow reason, like if I don't get to be around these people. But you got to think about me being in a hotel and
you feel like that
doing
was your
something
shot.
strange for a piece of change just to eat and living off. It's like so drastically, right? So if you're all the way down here and then you got an opportunity that's going to take you all the way up here. And if I don't get this thing, I am tired. My mom had just passed away. I was going through so much in Philly and I was just in LA chancing it. So to be able to get this opportunity would have been life-changing. And it was life-changing once I got it. But I remember just having to stay strong for myself and going through the process. And thank God that I stayed with it and not went with my first reaction was that I was just tired.